What's up everyone, Alex here. Got a really cool video today as there's been an update to Cemu, which is Wii U emulation on Android, and it's suddenly made a fair amount of games now playable. Going to go over some of the settings here. In the general settings here you can just set your game path, so if that's your internal or SD card, wherever you put your games, that's how you'll access your games here. In the input settings, there's an overlay, so if you need to use controls if you're on a phone or something, but we're not going to bother with that because we're going to use the Odin itself. Or for this video, I'm actually using a Pro controller because it's quite a hot day and I wanted to chill and just film this a little bit differently. We're mapping to the Wii U gamepad, but you can use Pro controller. And here you can see that I've picked either Xbox Wireless, which is the Odin, or my Pro controller. So I'm going to pick my Pro controller, and it's going to automatically map everything. But just in case, depending on how you set your settings to Xbox or Odin style, you may want to set ABXY again. And here I'm setting the show screen to just the extra button on the Pro controller, whatever that did on the Nintendo Switch, because we're not going to be using it. Custom drivers here is the really important thing. Now we can use turnip drivers, and for this video, for all the games I'm testing, I'm using something called Biosensor MK1. I'm not actually sure how you get the game. I'll look for it and see if I can put it in the video description, but that's the driver I'm using for the entire video, so everything is tested across the same driver. In audio settings, we're going to turn the TV volume up to 100% because the default I think was 50%. It sounded really quiet, especially when you turn the Odin all the way up, so that will fix that. I've got an overlay on so you can see the FPS of games, and pretty much everything I'm playing is running really well. Here in this graphics pack, when you've set your game path, you can download all of these graphics packs. It will find the games on your device and it will download all of these, but just in case you can do it manually. And those give you like mods, and you can increase the resolution of games. But very quickly, there are games that are not playable that I have on here. Batman Arkham has problems. Nintendo Land, it plays, but there's no gyro with the gamepad, so you can't look around and continue further. I'm not really sure what that's all about. Splinter Cell Blacklist doesn't even boot. I was really hoping that one would work, and it doesn't. Star Fox Zero boots, but it has problems. We'll have a look at that later as I recorded some footage. And also Transformers Rise of the Darkspark doesn't boot, and the same thing for Watch Dogs doesn't boot. So I was really hopeful for these because the only other options, oh, quickly Zombie U does boot, but it hangs on a black screen, so nothing to look at there. Some of those games I really wish were working because I don't think there are alternatives that work very well. Just quickly showing off Batman here, just crashes. I seem to remember Batman working better on an older version of this. Here we're going to have a quick look at Deus Ex Human Revolution. I've showed this played perfectly before, but I've never turned on the 60 FPS patch before. So we're doing that, and it seemed to be pretty nice. It seemed to stay up to 60 most of the time. Some dips here and there, but like when I was playing it, I didn't really notice it very much. It's you can kind of play this game action-packed if you like, but if you take it slow, not really a big deal. But it's up to you if you want that patch on or off. Very cool game though, probably the best way to play this on the Odin right now, so really happy to have that. Devil's Third is a Wii U exclusive, and this is one of the games that wasn't running before. I know this one has, people say it's bad, but when I was playing it, I was actually having a really good time playing it. I was actually thinking, I think I might play this. I think I might actually play this. It seemed kind of fun. I've heard that it's just like not a great game, janky, maybe too difficult. I can't remember, but this is a Wii U exclusive. The only other version of this was a Japanese-only PC online multiplayer. I remember reading some articles about that back in the day, and nothing came of that. I think it died very quickly. So yeah, we can play Devil's Third. So I'm just gonna let this play out for a moment.
Still alive, asshole. Big mistake. I agree.
Also, I just want to chime in quickly. Sorry about some of the reflections in the video today. Some of the games are a little bit dark, and the Odin is a very reflective surface, so really difficult. But here, Fast Racing Neo, Wow, this one performs really well. I really wanted this. I tried playing it at 1080p, but it's not as smooth. It doesn't quite hit 60 on some of these levels. I picked a track here I never played before, so you could see how the shader compiling would happen, and it was just very smooth, because you know, when you're playing a fast-paced game like this, you don't want it to keep stuttering with you know, compiling shaders and whatnot. So no issue with that. Really fun, sounded great, played great, awesome game. Here we have Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, or Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush, I think. Paintbrush being the European version and Curse being the US version. So when you look at the graphics pack here, there's a mod, more like a fix, that was hopefully supposed to help fix some of the invisible rainbow ropes here that you're drawing with the stylus. This whole game is played with a stylus. I don't recall doing anything with the pad, so here I'm just using, to avoid smudging the screen, I have this old pen I got for, I think it was like my original Odin Pro or something, and I barely use it, but I thought, here, perfect, we'll use it for this. And this is a pretty cool game. Obviously, you know, not very difficult. All you're doing is drawing lines and stuff, but it was kind of fun. I could see myself just zoning out and just playing this for a while. Obviously great for kids. I can't remember if this was playable before, but I didn't have any problems with this time, so yeah, awesome that it works. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is Wii U exclusive. I looked online, apparently there is no other way to play this, it is Wii U only, and happy to see rather that it is working great. I never tested this before. I was looking for like more games I could try out, and I was like, hey, why don't I try out Mario Tennis? That seems to be exclusive. I did have one time where it crashed, and obviously like after you when someone wins a point rather, you do see that logo kind of like flashing in and out. This is probably a good time to say that when it comes to these turnip drivers, try different ones. Some games are probably going to work better than others, and we'll have a look at this with the next game.
Deus.
Cemu. It's got sass. Yeah, beat you.
Advantage server. Game point. Game server.
This is Mass Effect 3. This definitely did not work before. And continuing with the turnip thing, there was a driver I tried where I got to this point and Shepard's clothing looked kind of weird. There were some other texture issues. This is when I just decided to try the turnip driver I'm using currently. I got to this point and there are a few odd textures, like I can't tell if it's like dirt or debris on his clothes, but it looks a bit odd. And later on when I start firing the pistol, that texture looks a little bit odd as well. I haven't tested a lot of drivers. I kind of went with the one that kind of worked with most games. I was like, okay, I'll test this one along the board. And I was playing this and it's running great. I mean, there were some cutscenes before this and there were some texture problems. A lot of compiling as well. This game kind of needs it. So, but I was just super surprised to see it working. This is probably the best way to play Mass Effect 3. I really don't know if it runs well on Winlator. Never tried it myself, but I was always crossing my fingers that one day we'd get a Cemu update and stuff like this would run. So yeah, super cool to see this actually playable.
You haven't forgot how to shoot, have you? Take him out! Shoot him! You haven't forgot how to shoot. I might have him. Come on, we gotta move. Have to take these things out the old-fashioned way. Don't let him grab you.
Ninja Gaiden 3 was a game that was technically working on older versions of Cemu for Android, but you just couldn't see anything. There were huge texture problems, and thanks to custom drivers, we now can actually see what's going on. Before, you could play and hear everything, you just couldn't see anything. Kind of like this video. Very sorry about the footage here. I was testing early game, and it's a very dark levels, so it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that it's running very smooth. It's very gory. Maybe worked to my favor. I don't know how YouTube would feel about like really gory gameplay. I can't really remember if I've recorded much. Very excited to see this is actually running really well. I know it's not one of the beloved Ninja Gaiden games. I know not a lot of people like this one, kind of like Devil's Third, I guess, but this is one I was kind of thinking I would like to play if the Wii U version was working, because you get all these like bonus extras. Tekken is a lot like that as well. We'll talk about that later, as I'll have a lot of footage of that. But yeah, very cool to see this running. Paper Mario Color Splash, another game that was not booting before, suddenly magically playable, and it looks really gorgeous. And we're playing this at 1080p as well, so it's very crisp on this screen. God, this I haven't done any testing on games for a really long time, so games like this drive me crazy because you can't skip the text very fast. There's so much text. I'm just trying to get to the gameplay. Anyway, you can see we get to a battle now. I've already done a battle before, but what I'm doing here, you have to press the button to show the gamepad, and everything is touch here. You can't do any controls, so you, unless you've got a stylus thing like this, you're going to have to be touching the screen a lot, which is unfortunate. I remember playing this. I don't think I finished it. I think I played about 2/3 of it, but yeah, again, not like the most beloved Paper Mario game. You know, people say it was a downgrade. Paper Mario has a weird history of just kind of like dipping down, but I mean, to finally have it playable here on emulator is really, really cool. Another game that wasn't booting before, Sonic Lost World, now appears to be completely playable. I messed around in the first level. It looks really colorful, but for like a game like this, it looks kind of dark on the screen. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought it'd be like, look, the gamepad is a lot brighter. I wonder if that's a problem. I might have to check the mods in the graphics pack again and see if that can be fixed, because it does seem like darker than it should be. But I'm just happy that in this footage I was playing this game kind of okay, because when we first tested it I was like, what's going on? Anyway, forget about that. Star Fox Zero, here's just a quick test to show that it is booting. I can't remember if it was booting before and had the same problem. The audio is kind of a mess. It's like really loud, kind of distorted. And when I tested this last night as well, it just kind of crashed around this point. I don't know if me touching this button up here was a reason why it crashed, or maybe the bomb launched and it just crashed. I don't know, but yeah, sadly not playable. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 though was not playable, now is. So this was one I was also crossing my fingers for, because, well, at the time this would have been the only way to play this on Android. However, now we have a okay PS3 emulation now on Android. You can also play Tekken Tag 2 on PS3. I haven't tried it myself. I've absolutely no idea if it runs well. If it doesn't, we have this, and this is running absolutely smooth. I'm not a Tekken player, so I really don't know what I'm doing. It is super cool on this version though. You can just look at the gamepad and it will show you the moves, so you can just tap that button quickly, have a quick look at the moves, jump back into the game and try them out. This is at default resolution as well. I think it's 720, but to be honest, it looks really good still. I don't think this update brings anything to Wind Waker, but I figured it's Wii U emulation. Let's just show it off again. I'm at a decent place with my save file. It gives me a little moment to talk about how I tried Wind Waker on the Switch 2 with the GameCube collection thing with Nintendo Switch Online. I just felt very disappointed by it. Like, the way it looked, the bezels on the side, and it wasn't completely full screen. I just felt I felt like my hands were tied, you know, and maybe a lot of people don't feel that because they don't do emulation, but once you start doing emulation and really get into it, you fall down the rabbit hole of making it look good, customizing it the way you like, this and that. It's just kind of weird that, like, on the Switch there isn't even the HD version of Wind Waker. Same with Twilight Princess. Like, they must have the source code and things from, because the Wii U isn't that long ago. Like, why are they gatekeeping those versions from the Switch? So, honestly, just these are set to 1080p as well. No, they are naturally 1080p. And seeing them on the screen on the Odin2 Portal is amazing. I believe both these Zeldas also run really well on the Retroid Pocket 5. I may repeat this video and do Retroid Pocket 5 as well, because that's a really popular handheld. I'm sure people will want to see what that's like. But I love the Portal, and it's got a lot of power behind it. So it's like, okay, let's just test this with the best device I have, the one I would play these games on. Twilight Princess, by the way, was playable before, but it had a problem where the HUD was a bit glitchy. Like, the mini map did not look good, and you need a custom turnip driver or whatever driver you try to get it to work. If you put it on system default, it will still have that problem. So you need the driver to fix the minimap. So I was playing this for a bit just to test it out, see if anything would flash or be weird, but it was consistent gameplay. So you have two amazing Zelda games, the HD versions, working perfectly on Cemu. And Yoshi's Woolly World is something I've shown before on the previous Cemu version. Works great, but it just looks really good. And there's a mod, I don't think I tried it before, but it is to have 60 FPS on the world map here. It just looks adorable. And I seem to recall when I played this on the last version of Cemu, there were a couple of like texture glitch stuff. Didn't notice it this time. I played up to a certain point in level 1 and everything was smooth as butter. You know, not my favorite Yoshi. I barely played it, but it just feels really nice to play. So there is a part of me that might try it out and see how I feel, because very cute. The whole yarn thing is adorable. I don't know what it is with Nintendo. They got very gimmicky with some of these games. You know, Kirby and Yoshi. It would be super cool to see like a new Yoshi's game where it just had like a just solid art style. Maybe return to Yoshi's Island on the SNES, which had like that pastel kind of colored feeling. I saw some artwork recently of some like Yoshi animations where it was like kind of like drawn in like dark pen, but then like sketched with a felt tip pen. So there was like white still left, but it looked really cute. And I thought, yeah, I'd love to see a game like that. I think that would look absolutely amazing. So I don't know. We shall see. Would also be cool to see like Yoshi get his own like big 3D game, kind of like the new Donkey Kong game, which looks pretty good. But yeah, I don't know about Nintendo really. So we'll see what happens with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm hoping that's going to be really good game. But for the Switch 2, I'm most excited for Metroid Prime 4. That's what I need. That's what I want. If it's great, I'm a happy bunny. Anyway, I'm going to let this footage play out, and then we're going to close out the video. So that has been Wii U emulation on Android with the newest version of Cemu. I will leave a link to that in the description. By the way, there's no need to ask about these certain things. I always leave links to the description what I talk about, so check the video description. A lot of YouTubers use it to give you what you need. And yeah, I'm also just showing quickly Pegasus. This is my front end, and very cool. You can switch between themes. It's awesome. Anyway, thank you very much for liking. Like the video if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one, and subscribe for more. See ya.